So you've installed DoozyUI, and what's next? What can you do now? Well, this is the getting started video. Let's go. Alright, so this is a new project and I've just installed DoozyUI, Unity 2019. What can I do? How can I use the system? Well, there are a few things that you should be aware of. First of all, you need to know where the control panel is, because that is how you access most of the system settings. It's in Tools, Doozy, Control Panel. It also has a shortcut Alt-D if you want to use that. The control panel is sorted in vertical tabs. You can also make this a bit smaller. And here in the General tab, you can toggle functionality of the orientation detector and also enable integrations for third-party assets, well, including TestMesh Pro that basically is inside Unity, so it's not really a third-party asset, whatever. I have it installed because it's DoozyUI 2019, but I do not have it enabled. So if I create a button, it will have a text component instead of a TestMesh Pro component. And I really want to use TestMesh Pro, so I'm going to enable it. This will add a scripting-defined symbols, DUI TestMesh Pro. And this is a symbol that will be added to all the build target groups. I'm going to click yes, and I'm going to wait for this to compile. That's it. Then we have our databases area. We have canvas names. We have UI views. It's compiling. That's why you see so many things. You have UI views, and here you have two categories or two databases. The example category that has these UI view names, and the general that has an unnamed. This is a special case. This is actually the default setting for any UI view. And you have some buttons. Again, you have an example category and button names, and drawers, drawer name. These are the default drawer names. If you want to add more, I don't know why you would need to, but yeah, you can do that. And pop-ups. This is a special database. It pairs a prefab with a string, so you can access it via this string easily without the need of a reference because it's already here. Here you have the sound database. And this is very interesting because it has a lot of settings. Let's say in the music department, we added some. These are the default things that come with Doozy, the examples. Yeah. Let's click play. There you go. I'm using the mouse to play, so left click plays, middle button pauses, and right button stops. Or you can use these two buttons. So play and stop. Or I can click here. I can scrub. Just clicking. And if I click middle mouse button, this is a pause. And right mouse button is actually stop. So yeah. And here you have some sounds that you can use right away. All right. You also have settings for the soundy system. This is quite a complex system. You don't need to mess with these settings. You can do it. We believe we've set some decent default settings. And you can start working with it right away. Swipe length, long tap duration for touchy. You have some Node settings, and you can also open the Node window. Of course, the Node window can be opened from Tools, Doozy, Node as well as from here. All right. Here you have some default settings. Again, don't worry about them. These will be explained in other tutorials that are more advanced. And here is a global debug zone. For example, if you want to debug all the UI buttons in your project, so relevant debug messages will be printed on the console whenever you use a UI button component, you just click here. Or if you want to see what game events are sent throughout the system, you just debug the game event manager. It's really quite easy, but be aware that these are global settings and will affect all the components of this particular type. Help. This is a very good area because here you can access the DoozyUI website, the documentation, some frequently asked questions. I don't think this is up yet, but it should be soon. And the support email that actually opens a ticket to our support system, to Zendesk. So if you have an issue, just click send. It will open a draft in your default mail program software, and just tell us what happened, how we can what were you expecting to happen, and how we can reproduce you the issue that you encountered. Some links to the Unity manual, scripting API, .NET API browser, and to the DooTween website. This is the engine, the other asset that Unity installed alongside DoozyUI for the animations to work. And here we have some social links, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and very important, we have now a Discord server. So if you need help, you just come here and you will probably find an answer, or someone that can give you an answer very fast. If you are not available or we cannot answer in that exact moment, you will definitely find help here. So you should check that out. And the About section, here it's very important that you can see the version you're currently using. Sometimes if you need help, we may ask you, okay, what version are you using? Well, this is where you can see it. And that's it for the control panel. We will use it right now because I'm going to show you a quick UI, how you can assemble it. And let's show you the other parts. So I've shown you the control panel, and the magic happens here in the hierarchy view. You right click, you go to Doozy, and from here you can create most components of the system. So you do not need to add them. For example, managers, or let's say your orientation detector, you do not need them because they'll be added automatically. But should you want to see them, let's add the sounding manager. It doesn't have any settings. You don't need to add it. They're all automated systems. You should not care about them, but you can add them. What you should learn are 4 things. First, you should start learning UI view, the UI view. This is the main container, the main component of the system. The UI button. Then you should learn about the graph controller and about the UI node that's inside the graph. That's it. If you know these 4 things, you can create any UI. These are the basic building blocks. And let's start by creating a UI view. I'm going to click it, and right away it's going to create a master canvas. There you go. And it's set to screen space overlay. This is the most efficient render mode because it's rendered at the end in the GPU batching. But unfortunately, there is no sorting with the particle system inside Unity. So you won't be able to use particle systems with this one, at least with the current Unity implementation. So I'd rather use screen space camera because I like it more. It's just a personal preference. And of course, you have to handle your sorting and so on. Just leave it like that for now. The UI view, you can think about it as a container, as a box, and you can put inside of it views, other UI views that can be nested, by the way. You can put inside of it buttons, texts, icons, layouts, or whatever. So a UI is formed from the basic building blocks are graphics. So you have icons, backgrounds, button faces, and so on, that assembled into different layouts that in turn are put in a view. And what the system does, what DoozyUI does actually, is to show and hide this view. And that's it. That's the basic functionality of the system, to show and hide this view. It just moves it out of view and adds it to view. And of course, it does a lot of other things, but this is the basic thing that you should be aware of. So I have this UI view. I have a view category and a view name. I would like to have my own view category and my own view name because I do not want to use these ones. How can I do that? Well, there are 2 ways. You either click this button and you'll usually use it to open the database, or you can go to Tools, Doozy, Control Panel, and click here and come in the Views tab. I'm going to click this Open Database, and there you go. So I want a new category. I want a new category to have view names here. So I'm going to click New Category and click OK. And there you go. I have a category. Now I cannot use it because it's empty and I cannot even select it. So let's add some items. I'm going to have a main menu. I'm gonna click enter so it saves. Let's add one more. I'm gonna have settings, menu. Again, I'm gonna click enter. And I'm gonna have a quit menu. That's the way I wanna have it. Let's also sort it. And that's it. Now I can select test, and I have main menu. Let's close this. And here, because we need to organize our hierarchy, we have a rename option for the game object. Instead of coming here and rename and start typing, you just click this and it will rename to view minus main menu. This is the view name. All right. When the game starts, I want this view to hide automatically, and its default position should be in the center of the screen, 0, 0, 0. This way I can move it out of view if I want to. All right. And now I have to set a show and a hide animation. Otherwise, it cannot hide it. It won't work. All right. And you can see we have some red warnings here. So let's set a simple moving animation. So this says moving from left in 1 second. Let's preview it. Okay, I like it. And I'll move it, let's say, a bit faster, 0.4. Notice that I'm previewing in the editor right away. This is thanks to the twin. All right, so this is my animation. And let's also hide it. So move out. Let's see how it looks to the left. I would like it to move to the right. Let's say, yeah. And in 0.4 seconds. It's very easy and very fast. Let's add a rotation. Let's say 30 degrees in 0.4. Check it out. And let's also fade out in 0.4. Again. Oh, fade to 0. Come on. There you go. So this is my animation. You can customize it any way you want, and you also have a ton of presets. There are over 800 presets available throughout the system. And let's say, let's use a preset right now. Organic wiggle. I just load it. Let's view it. There you go. Yeah, it's very easy. And you can also change the preset settings. Let's say move top. I don't know what this looks like, so let's see it. There you go. Let's move it to right. There you go. So yeah, it's very easy to create an animation. I'm not gonna add sound. I'm gonna do that later. So okay, I have a UI view, main menu, and I would like to have another UI view for the settings menu. But before I do that, let's add a title and a button to get us there. So let's create a text mesh pro text, and let's say main menu, center, move it here, maybe make it a bit wider. All right, come on, looks awful. Let's say 0, 64. What did I do? I think I messed something up. Yeah, all right. So let's, come on. All right, so I have my main menu here in the game view. Now I need a button. So again, I'm gonna select the view because this will be the parent, and I'm gonna right click, DoozyUI, UI button. So as long as you know your views and buttons, you're golden. You can show and hide anything and move from one thing to another. And this, because I'm using Text Mesh Pro, this label is a Text Mesh Pro label, and I enabled it here in the General tab. I have it enabled. Otherwise, this would have been, if I create a default Unity button, it would use a text component. So yeah, this is the difference. It's not that good. Let's delete that. All right, so I have my UI button. Again, I want my own category and my own button names. Open database, new category, test, save. And I'm gonna add a few button settings for one. I enter it, I click enter. Let's add one more, back. I would like to have a back button in this category. And let's also add a yes, actually a quit button. And let's sort them. All right, let's close this. And now I can say test, and this will be my settings button. I also have a rename game object option. So rename this game object to button minus settings. Right now, its name is UI button. So I'm gonna click that. And now it's button settings. And here we have a convenience method. Instead of going here, selecting the label and changing the text, you can do it right from here and say settings. This is just to speed up your design. All right, so I have a main menu and one button. Let's add one more. Let me add a back button. And let's say back, rename it and write back. There you go. I have actually, let me write quit for this particular button. All right, so I have a view with two buttons. Let's duplicate it. Let's move the original here and let's work on my settings view. So this is my settings view. Let's change the color to orange. Yeah, something like that. And let's say here settings. And I'd like to have only a back button. And let's call this back. There you go. And let's also set this to settings menu, rename it. And now I have one more view. And let's also create the quit. Yeah, let's also duplicate this. Let's move. Come on, duplicate. Let's move it here. Control D, by the way, to duplicate, or Command D if you're on a Mac. Let's say quit menu, rename it. This is very fast once you have one set. And let's say quit. And let's say here quit. And we'll have a, this will be quit. And I'm going to say quit. Let's rename it. And this will be my back button. And I'm going to say back. You'll see in a minute why I have all of these buttons. All right, so I have the free UI views and the buttons. There is only one problem. They are not connected and they will not work. All these UI views have animations and are set to hide at start. So if I press play, nothing works. I have animations, I have buttons, everything is set up, but nothing works because you need a graph and a graph controller that controls the graph. So let's create our graph. Now we start creating our UI flow. Of course, you can also do it the opposite way and start creating the graph first and then you create the views. But I chose to do it this way. It really doesn't matter because they are separate systems. So let's go to Tools, Doozy, Node. Let's create a graph and let's call it test for whatever reason. Oh, we didn't open. Let's open it. All right. And here we have our graph. This is the first node. And whatever node is connected to this one, to the start node, will be the first node that is activated. If I press play right now, nothing will happen, nothing will work because I didn't add a graph controller. So even though I have this asset here, because it's not connected anywhere, it will not work. So let's press play. I'm just showing it in case you create it and you wonder, wait, I created it, but it doesn't work. See, it's not even green, it's not active. How can I activate it? Well, very simple. You come here, right click, Doozy, Node, graph controller, and I just created this one. Let's close it. And now it's not active because no graph has been referenced. Let's drag and drop our graph. This will be my main graph. You can have several graph controllers and several UIs work at the same time, but these are way more complex systems. I'm going to show them later in different tutorials. So now let's open the node graph. If I press play, you will see that because this particular asset, this particular graph is controlled by this graph controller, this will turn green because it will be active. It won't do anything, but it will be active. There you go. Now it's green. So I have a confirmation that this graph became active, that this graph works, is live. All right. So Let's see. I need 3 UI nodes. Like I told you, if you know views, buttons, graph controller, and UI node, you can create anything. And let's come here. I usually have this on a different screen, so this is a bit hard for me to show, but I'm gonna do my best. And when you create a graph, you need the node window, and let's make this a bit smaller. And you also need the inspector in order to be able to see the node settings. Here, this node is red because it has an issue. If you select it, it says node is not connected. This node should be connected in order for the graph to work as expected. Please connect this node to another node. So let's create right click, create node, UI node. Automatically the connection is created because this is the first node in the graph. And right away the error disappeared, and this will be my first node. Another way of creating a UI node, because this is the most used node in UI design, it has a shortcut. It's the letter N. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to press N, and a UI node appeared. This is red because you shouldn't have 2 UI nodes with the same name. So this will be my main menu. You do not have to you do not have to have the same UI node name as your UI view name, by the way. There are different things. So I have a main menu. This will be my settings menu. And let's also duplicate this. Let's copy and paste. And this will be my quit menu. Of course, you can, if you have 2 nodes selected, you can select them, copy, and paste. Yeah, this works. All right, let's disconnect. I'm going to explain to you how to use this node graph. It's really very easy. So let's look at our setup. So I have a main menu, and I have 2 buttons, settings and quit. In this is actually a back button. If I select it, you will see that this is a back button. Yeah, this one. I just changed the label that says quit. That's it. All right. So I have a back button that needs to go to the quit menu, and I need one more. I'm going to click here, and notice the icon. The icon is for button click. You can set a different action. So let's say I want a button double click. Check it out. It changed. Long click. You can set to trigger a game event. Should trigger disconnection. Or you can set a timer. But I'm going to use button click. And I'm going to say test. And I'm going to say settings. This is the button name of this button, the settings button. All right. And when I click that button, I want to come here. And in the settings view, I have another button called back. I already have it here. And when I click this, I want to come back here. So let's connect it like that. How do you create a connection? You have 2 ways. Either you drag from this point or from the socket itself. You can either drag it like that from here to here or from here to here. An input connection cannot connect to another input connection. It can only connect to an output connection. And notice that when I drag from here, this is a blue connection. When I drag from here, this is a yellow connection. So it tells you what exactly you're looking for. So if I come from here, notice how the connection location changes. And I can drag and drop here. You see it's green now. Red, because you cannot connect it to this, and green. All right. How can you disconnect? That's very easy. You either right click and click disconnect, or here and click disconnect. I'm going to click Ctrl Z to undo. Or you can enter delete mode. And you enter delete mode by keeping the Alt key pressed. And here you can do several things. You can disconnect. You can delete a certain connection. You can delete a socket. This is a socket. So if I click it, it's going to disappear. I'm undoing everything. Or you can delete an entire node. Of course, you can right click and say delete. You can right click and say delete or disconnect. So every menu is contextual. If you click on the node, you have a menu. Let's center it. Yeah. If or disconnect, if I click disconnect, every connection will disappear. There you go. Let's undo that. If I say copy, I will copy it, and here I can paste. So I have it again here. Very easy. And here for this particular socket, right click, I can move it up, move down. I can disconnect it. Check it out. Undo. And I can also delete it, of course, or use the Alt and click. It's dealer choice, however you want to use it. Notice that you see you see that the connections are showing you the direction. So this is an input. So yellow comes in, blue goes out. If I select this one, the colors will change because it's relative to the check it out. Is relative to the selected node. So if this is selected, this is yellow and blue. If I select this, this will be yellow and this will be blue because this becomes an input and this is actually an output. Oh, all right. Let's come here. Let's go back to the quit menu. There you go. Let's see the connection. And I'm going to also use a specialty node, the application quit node. Let's add one more. Let's say test and quit. And here create node system application quit. You don't really need to use it. This will exit play mode if you're in the editor, or the application if you are in the build at runtime. All right, this is a simple graph, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work because we're not showing or hiding any UI views. It is connected, that is true, but I'm not doing anything here. So, in the main menu, when the game starts and activates this particular node, I want to show a view. And I want to show the main menu view. Whenever I get out of this node, whether I go to the quit menu or the settings menu or to whatever menu, I would like to hide the main menu view. So on exit node, let's click this, test, hide the main menu. And right now it works. Check it out. Let's enter play mode and you'll see that the main menu will appear. There you go. If I go to the settings menu, remember everything is now connected. This is a working graph. It just needs a few more settings. So if I click the settings menu, it will go here. So through this connection will turn green and then will come here. The main menu will disappear, but because we are not showing anything, it will not work. You will not see the settings menu. So I'm going to click it. You will see that this will turn green and you do not see anything here. Let's go back. Let's set this the active node. And let's edit this in play mode and it will get saved by the way. So when I come to the settings menu, again, same thing. I'll say when I enter this node, I would like to see the settings menu. When I go back or whatever, I would like to hide the settings menu. And just like that, to settings. And now let's see it here. Let's go to settings. There you go. You can see it. Notice that I'm using a button called back. There's one more thing you should know about it. This is a special button. If you press escape or the back button key for the Android, it will go back without pressing this button. So if I click this, it works. But if I click escape, I'm not going to click it. You will see that it will get triggered again. Let's press escape. There you go. It went back. So you should be aware of that. If I press escape again, I have the back button. Although I called it here quit. I added another label. It doesn't matter. That's why I did it. And you will see that it goes here And again, I'm not showing anything on enter node, and I'm not hiding anything on exit node, so I will not see the quit menu. The main menu will disappear because when we exit this node, we said hide UI view test main menu. So let's press the quit button, and you will see that this connection will light up and we will be in this node. So let's say quit. There you go. Again, it doesn't work. If I press escape, because I have a back button here, it will go back to the main menu. So escape, there you go. Escape again, quit. So you can see how we can toggle this. There you go. I'm pressing like a maniac right now. All right, let's make the quit menu work. So it works because I'm in play mode, yeah? All right, so quit menu. Let's show test quit menu. If you understand how this works, you can expand on this and create very complex UIs. It's really very easy once you get a hang of it. And now it works. I just added these two. If I would not add this, the quit menu would not disappear. And that's actually a bad thing, because notice how these game objects are disabled. Also their canvas and graphic raycaster is disabled. So if I enable if I go to the quit menu, it will get enabled, it will enable this. So there are a lot of optimizations that you should be aware of. There you go. I'm pressing escape like a maniac, by the way. All right. And if I click quit, it will go through here and perform an application quit and exit play mode. So let's click quit. There you go. That's it. So yeah, this was a simple UI. I just created. I know it took some time to get it. I'm trying to explain every single setting. And yeah, this is the graph. You have the views, you have the buttons, and you have the graph. These are the ones that get animated. And this decides what exactly should be shown or hidden. And that's it. You can expand on this concept quite a lot, actually. You can do a lot of things and a lot of settings. All right, one more thing. When you're learning the system, or maybe you forgot something, I really recommend that you look here. Every component in the DoozyUI system has a manual, and it should have a YouTube video. Learn the UI view, learn the UI button, and learn the UI node. If you know how to use these three settings, and of course the graph controller that controls the graph. But if you know these things, you can create at least a basic UI. And of course we can add the, let me actually show you one more thing. Let's change the animations, let's add some sounds and so on. So I'm going to select all the UI views and I'm going to change the show animation. I'm going to use a preset, flip and resize bottom. I don't know how it looks and I don't want to see it right now. Hide animation, let's change it to scale slender up. All right. And let's enter play mode. And you'll see that I've just changed the entire animation for the system. There you go, settings. See? I'm pressing escape, by the way, to change that fast. Quit. Let's also add some sounds. Let's select them all. Show view. When the animation starts, I would like to hear a swish sound, something like that. So let's go to slides. Let's say smooth swish. Let's hear it. Okay, sounds okay. And let's press play. And I've just added sounds to all the views. It's really very easy, but be aware that there are a lot of settings. So, all right. You may have noticed there is a small delay after I press play. This is because we are in the editor and it has to render all of the other things for the system to work. In your build, you will not have that delay. And if you see the animations a bit jaggy, if they do not work smooth, just enter game, say maximize on play and enter it. And you will see that the animations will be smooth because it doesn't have to render your UI. Check it out. So this is way smoother than it was when this was not maximized. So you can see it here. It's not really that smooth, but if you go to maximize, this is a bit better because the editor has to do less work to display everything. Yeah, and this is very close, let's say 95% close to how good it will look in in build at runtime, right? Okay, let's also add some sounds to the buttons and an animation. Now, I do not want to search for all the UI buttons, so I'm going to say here UI button, and these are all the buttons. And on click, I would like to trigger events after animation so I can actually see it. I would like an organic, I don't know, jump up. Let's load the preset. And I would also like a sound. So click and I don't know, plastic switch. Yeah, whatever. Looks good. And now I just added sounds and an animation to my entire UI. Let's maximize on play. Okay, let's press play. So just be aware of these little things. There you go. And now check it out. I'm gonna click the settings button. Back. Quit. Yeah. If I want this to react faster, let's again select the UI button. You can I added it so you can see the animation, but you can make it react even faster if you feel it's sluggish. Just disable trigger events after animation. And now if I enter play mode, you will see that that's no longer the case. As soon as I click it, the animation will start. There you go. Yeah. So it's a different feel of the animations and of the UI. But these are more advanced settings and you should play with them. Of course, look at the icons and you'll see that I have a show animation that has a move, rotate, scale, and fade. And I also have a sound here. And if I dig in, I can see the animation and I can see that the sound is at start. So be aware that everything has a purpose. The entire interface has things that are designed specifically to give you information of what exactly is in this setting. If I use a, let's reset this. If I use a preset, it will say you have a runtime preset and so on. You can also create your own presets, by the way, animation presets. And this will work. All right. So, like I said before, because I stopped showing you, whenever you use a component, you should be aware that you have a manual link and a YouTube video. So I'm going to click here. And right away, I am taken to the manual link for the UI view. A description, it explains every setting. In this particular example, you also see the UI view behavior at start, how the animations are triggered, in what order. So if you want to learn more about them, you do it from here. All right. And what every setting is explained. There you go. And of course, you have here UI action. You have a lot of, I'm going to open this, and here you learn about the UI action, what you saw, the sound. So you can see the manual is quite extensive and you have a lot of options. Of course, you can also enter scripting. Let's come here. Where is it? You also have a scripting button. Why can I go back? Your action. Come on. Come back here. So let's click the manual link for the UI view. And notice that you also have a scripting button. So here you have the YouTube video. If you click this, you will see the scripting part of this component. So this is the UI view class. And here you have some different things like public variables. What do you have available? These are useful if you're planning to interact with it from code, and they're very important. Let's go back to the manual side. So the manual has two sides, has the scripting side and the manual side. The documentation has two sides, the manual and the scripting side. And of course, you have a YouTube video that you can actually view. Hi, in this video, you'll learn about the UI view, probably the most important component in the DoozyUI system. Let's go back. And for the nodes, I would suggest you learn first the general nodes. So let's select the UI node. again, I have the manual and the YouTube video. Let's go to the manual, because you should be aware that in the manual, let's go up here, you have general nodes, navigation nodes, scene management, system, and internal nodes. You should learn the general nodes. If you learn these, and start with the UI node, of course. If you learn these, you can go and use these with ease. So let's go to the UI node. And here you can see it's an explanation of the node, what happens on enter node, when it's active, and on exit node, and every setting. You can even zoom in and see an example. And of course, you should watch the YouTube video, because it explains more things in depth. Menu too. There you go. And this is the UI node. And one more. This will be all right. So yeah, that's it for getting started, for the getting started video. I hope that you were able to follow it and to create at least this type of UI. It's very easy, and you can expand on this with ease. You can create as many. Let's say I want one more. Let's say my special menu. Let's duplicate the settings menu, move it here, and let's add a new UI view. So custom, I'll say special menu, and let's add it here. Test, yes. Let's change its color to, I don't know, this. So you will see I'm just adding one more special, and that's it. And now all I have to do, let's rename it. All I have to do is add another UI node in the graph, connect it to whatever I want, let's say from the main menu. So let's go to the main menu. Let's duplicate this, and this will be my special. Do I have an option here? No. Let's add it. Custom, special. Let's add it to my test. And now I have a special button. Let's write here special. So I just created a UI view and a UI button to link to it. And let's see it in action after I add it to the graph. So let's duplicate this, Control C, Control V, and this will be my special. Let's add one more. So it's really very easy. Special, come here, come back, and please show me the special menu, special menu. That's it. I just added one more view in 2 minutes because I'm also talking. Let's enter play mode, and you will see my special menu created. Yeah. So main menu, where can I move this? Come on. I'm gonna zoom out, and let's click special, and you'll see it will go to this one. So this is my settings, this is my special. There you go. Settings, back, and you can see it. Yeah, so that's it for an easy menu. Created pretty fast, I believe. Yeah. Okay, that's it for the getting started video. Thank you very much.